So before you even get into songwriting, just loosen up. Let's sing a little bit. Okay? Same thing, eyes closed. Okay, let your breath and sound be connected. Try not to think too much, just feel. Okay? My name is Ami Yares. I'm a musician and teaching artist. I am the Artist in Residence and Arts Coordinator at BCI. And BCI is a 3.5-week summer intensive program of Jewish learning for young adults between the ages of 18 and 26, 27 from all over the world. And as my responsibility as an Artist in Residence, I lead a songwriting workshop for non-songwriters. So I have about 18 sessions of teaching unexperienced musicians or people with little to no musical experience ways to express themselves musically, both in instrumental performance and writing lyrics and songs. So the beginning of the process is extremely hard because you have a group of people who are stepping out of their comfort zone. This is something they've never done before. So it is my job, the participants' job, to create like a level playing field that makes even the slightest bit of contribution a big thing.
So far it's been great. We've been moving pretty gradually through the creative process, kind of starting with just how to access our creativity, and at this point we're starting to really dig in.
And well, it's also very different. Usually in musical lessons you can never find anything like this.
And I've really enjoyed every step of the way, even if some parts I was a little worried about.
Actually has very different techniques and things that he wants us to try. Like we're going somewhere and trying to sing to ourselves, no matter is there any words or something, we just bring up this melody there is inside.
I would not have been able to sing in front of people.
I think that I'm on my way to find it, so I'm pretty excited, and well, obviously it's all thanks to Ami, so.
If that's not personal growth, I'm not entirely sure what is.
You know, half the sessions were devoted to this experience of breaking down these barriers to creativity and building up supports for creativity. And then I really, at that point, let go of them.
Wait, can you do that and end on a G?
Maybe another chorus.
The idea is to let them find that creative voice, and if they're not finding it, ask them why, and try to inspire them and try to work with them individually or in groups to really explore and discover that. You see what you just do? 3 notes, no pressure on yourself, and just repeat it over and over again so you get used to it, and you create something. You know? And sometimes you really want to flow with it, and sometimes maybe not, but you just created something. You could sit on this, it could be your song. You could do something else like this, it could be something else. That's all you need. You just need to invest in it and play with it, and don't stop yourself. That's the most important thing. So you focus on what you have, what's there, not what's not there. And aside from that, I'm also a song leader here. Doing a lot of communal singing with the group, helping them with the spiritual practice on Friday night, doing morning rituals of singing, and in between that doing group singing that expands their cultural knowledge of Judaism, how that plays out with Israeli culture, and even stuff that's in between there. I'm in a band with my brother called the Brandeis-Bardin. It is a duo comprising of upright bass and 12-string guitar. And we've been doing this project together for about, I guess, 4 or 5 years. And even though we're obviously brothers for much longer, our musical interaction only began about 7 or 8 years ago. So every summer we get together, about 2 to 3 weeks we travel, primarily in the New England area, going from New Jersey all the way up to Maine. And we use music that I've written, we've used music from Jewish culture, from Arabic culture, as a means to give people like a beautiful palette of creativity to just be inspired by and to enjoy. And we find it, works great in summer camps, works great in bars and restaurants and people's homes, as well as, the Seeds of Peace camp up in Maine, where we get together a bunch of internationals who are doing conflict and peace building work.
Oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem.
As a musician, I'm always looking for ways to play music, and I enjoy that unspoken communication that takes place, the give and take of singing together, of harmony, of improvising. That's a really beautiful space. That form of communication doesn't exist in the daily life. It's verbal, it's with body language. And so music is just another language to get into. However, that language is based upon the experiences of the performer. So when I'm sitting with somebody, I perform and speak in my own language. I'm not talking about English, Hebrew, or some other language. I'm talking about this is how I perceive, this is how I listen, this is how I try to get a point across, and that's the way I do it. And it comes from my history, it comes from my society, and the person I'm playing with also comes from maybe a different society and a different way of behaving. And their music is, and how they perform is a product of how they live their life, what's going on in their life. It's not that music's like a universal language, but it's a really universal way to connect with somebody. And it's only through the next steps of wanting to hear what's creating that music can compassion and empathy really be built. Every human is a vibrating body of atoms and elements that are going back and forth. And though it doesn't seem like we're necessarily moving at that rate, we are. And so sound is also the same thing. Sound is vibration. So in a way, we are vibrating with music, and it's a very existential thought to think of. But it's how I teach.